Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, a mortar shell has yet again exploded on the Israeli side of the Golan Heights in the fifth spillover in just less than 2 weeks from the ongoing war in Syria. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel's partnerships and alliances are growing around the world as well as in the region as the international community unites in the battle against Islamic barbarism. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry says it was too early to draw a definitive conclusion about how effective the Syrian cessation of hostilities will be amid reports of violence in various locations across the war-torn country. A mortar shell has yet again exploded on the Israeli side of the Golan Heights in what Israeli defense sources believe was errant fire from the ongoing war in Syria. No one was injured and no damage was caused in the incident. The Israel Air Force responded by reportedly targeting artillery installations of the Syrian army. IDF sources said that the army held the Syrian regime responsible for what goes on in its territory, and added that Israel would not tolerate any attempt to infringe its sovereignty and the security of its residents. Since the beginning of last week, 5 mortar shells from Syria have fallen in the Golan Heights. In related news, Syrian army officials claim that during the Israeli airstrike last night, 2 surface-to-air missiles were fired at Israeli aircrafts. According to the Syrian report, an unmanned aerial vehicle was shot down during the Israeli strike, which took place in the southern Syrian city of Quneitra. The IDF spokesperson's unit rejected the Syrian report, stressing that at no point was the safety of IDF aircrafts compromised. The statement did confirm, however, that 2 surface-to-air missiles were launched from Syria during the Israeli attack. Now to another matter. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, during a joint press conference with Luxembourg's Prime Minister Javier Bettel, stressed that Israel's partnership and alliances are growing around the world as well as in the region, as the international community unites in the battle against what the Israeli leader described as Islamic barbarism.
Israel's partnerships and alliances around the world and in the region are growing broader and deeper. We stand together with many countries to defend civilization against the forces of militant Islamic barbarism.
The comments by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu come as a cessation of hostilities in Israel's northern neighbor, Syria, which was brokered by the United States and Russia, came into effect last night, a move meant to restart a political process for the war-torn country, while diverting the attention of all warring parties to focus on the fight against the Islamic State and other extreme Muslim groups. Since the cessation of hostilities was implemented, however, reports indicated some reduction of violence, stopping short from a full implementation of the joint agreement by Washington and Moscow. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, during a briefing on the matter, said it was too early to draw a definitive conclusion about how effective the truce will be, and that there would no doubt be some reports of violence across the country.
Now, the key elements of the plan, just so everybody is very clear about it, are first, the resumption of a nationwide cessation of hostilities that excludes only Al-Qaeda affiliate al-Nusra and Daesh. The earliest reports are that there's some reduction in violence, as well as a few reports of fighting here and there, though it is far too early to draw any definitive conclusions, and I am not drawing any definitive conclusions.
Meanwhile, in Moscow, Russia's defense ministry called on the Turkish-backed Free Syrian Army to stop fighting Kurdish militias to help support the nationwide cessation of hostilities.
Для оперативного обмена информацией и координации действий немедленно должен быть восстановлен канал связи между Российским центром примирения на Хмеймиме и аналитической военно-политической группой США в Омане. Исходя из того, что в соответствии с российско-американскими договоренностями восстановление режима прекращения боевых действий распространяется на всю территорию Сирии, считаем необходимым незамедлительно остановить боевые действия сирийской свободной армии против отрядов курдов на севере провинции Алеппо.
Russia also noted that it would continue airstrikes against the Islamic State and the Al-Qaeda-linked Nusra Front, which changed its name to Jabhat Fatah al-Sham after the group joined forces with other Sunni Muslim militant groups.
Отмечу, что несмотря на перемирие, борьба с террористическими группировками ИГИЛ и Джабхат ан-Нусра на территории Сирии будет продолжена, вне зависимости от смены ими своих наименований. Российские ВКС продолжат наносить удары по целям террористов на территории Сирии.
The Syrian army announced it would uphold the cessation of hostilities, saying the 7-day regime of calm, as it put it, would be applied across Syria, but emphasized that it reserved the right to respond with all forms of firepower to any violations by armed groups. Rebel groups said on their part that they would respect the ceasefire, despite voiced reservations about the agreement they view as skewed in Assad's favor. The agreement comes at a time when Assad's position on the battlefield is stronger than it has been since the earliest months of the war, thanks to Russian and Iranian military support. Hundreds of thousands of Syrians have been killed in the conflict, and some 11 million are homeless in the worst recorded refugee crisis since World War II. German Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier said during a joint press conference with former UN Secretary General and Special Envoy to Syria, Kofi Annan, that all are looking with hope and expectation that the newly implemented cessation of hostilities would hold and ensure that negotiations for a political solution to Syria can start once again.
Spiele auf dem Rücken der Menschen und Taktierereien Geländegewinne, das muss jetzt ein Ende haben. Noch ist nicht ausgemacht, dass sich eine Waffenruhe einstellt und ob sie dann auch hält. Aber wir haben jetzt zumindest wieder eine halbwegs realistische Chance, den vom Krieg gebeutelten Menschen in Syrien tatsächlich Hilfe zukommen zu lassen. Wenn die Bedingungen es zulassen, sind wir, wie viele andere, dazu bereit. Und nicht nur das, wir wollen unseren Teil dazu beizutragen, dass nicht nur eine Waffenruhe herrscht und dass nicht nur humanitäre Hilfsleistungen ihr Ziel erreichen. Wir wollen vor allen Dingen unseren Beitrag dazu leisten, dass die Verhandlungen um eine politische Lösung für die Zukunft Syriens in Genf wieder aufgenommen werden.
Now to Israel's eastern neighbor, where actress and UN Special Envoy Angelina Jolie called on world leaders to find a solution to the Syrian crisis during a visit to the Al-Azraq refugee camp in Jordan.
My message to world leaders is that as they prepare to gather at the UN General Assembly in 10 days, to ask the fundamental question of what are the root causes of the Syria conflict and what will it take to end it. And please put that at the center of your discussions.
Opened in 2014, Al-Azraq is the second largest Syrian refugee camp in the Hashemite Kingdom, with over 55,000 refugees. During her visit to the camp, the actress met with refugees who spoke of the struggles they face in their daily lives. She also met with camp and UN officials who briefed her on the challenges faced by the aid agencies. Jordan currently hosts more than 1.4 million refugees, with most of them living in urban areas and around 100,000 Syrians in camps. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7Israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and the region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hesson. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo, located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.